It wasn't long ago that I was cruising around in the Stuburban, getting hit in the back of the head with rocks and dirt and water and all sorts of nastiness from the devil's hot tub, all due to not having a floor in the back. It's that time. I'm finally going to get rid of my custom cardboard flooring in the back and replace it with some sheet metal. That being said, I have little idea of what I'm doing. But the plan is to replace all of that cardboard with metal. Cardboard did the trick for a while, kept some of the dirt down, didn't really help with the dust, but I wanted something a little bit better. A few years ago, I bought a bead roller from our favorite affordable tool place, but never gave myself the opportunity to use it until this project came along. So I was pretty excited to give it a shot. I rolled the first panel and noticed how poorly it did due to the amount of flex in the frame. The max thickness for mild steel is 18 gauge, and my first two panels were 16 gauge. Of course, that didn't stop me from sending it through still. Fortunately, Adam at Dueling Design sent me a message and some pictures showing me how to reinforce the roller frame for better operation. After a few hours, it was time for round 2. And I must say, it worked quite well. Thanks, Adam. Once all the panels were cut out and bead rolled to absolute perfection and then test fitted, I took them all out with the exception of those attaching the cage to the body. Those panels were then tacked in place, and it was time to cut out the majority of the old interior sheet metal. So one of the next things I'm going to have to figure out is where to put the filler neck. As you can see, I have a hole in the panel. I have the filler neck, but there's nowhere on the outside for it. Before I just had it sitting up here in between the tubes. Now that I have all the sheet metal, can't go there. So here's my thought. Run it out from here somewheres. Probably in the general vicinity of here. And I have a chunk of exhaust pipe from some diesel, some sheet metal, and I'm gonna make my own little filler neck thing. It's basically gonna be the same kind of style that you would have seen on the early 70s and prior. next things I need to do is make a hinge and latch setup for this panel. I don't have any hinges that would actually work for it that are small enough, so I'm gonna make some. I'm gonna use these fuel tank straps from the Z that I pulled the engine out of for the drift car. And I got some 16 gauge sheet metal. I'm gonna bend this, drill some holes in it, and make it into a little hinge setup. It'll all make sense in the coming moments. Alright, there we have it. A very simple hinge design setup using the gas tank strap from the Z and some 16 gauge steel. Drilled some holes, bent it. Came out pretty alright. So we'll end up taking this part of the bracket, welding it onto that panel, and then welding this part onto the lid. Hopefully that works. I gotta say, it was pretty awesome to finally practice some sheet metal work and close up the gaping hole in the rear of the Stuburban. Getting this done has motivated me to finally get the dash and console started. Let me know what you think about all this goodness down below. And until next time, stay reckless. They don't look like much right now, but with enough welding and grinding, they'll either disappear or look half decent.